Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And now we're delighted to be joined over the telephone by our guest for the afternoon, Mr. Mohamed, Qawood, our tourism expert. Mr. Mohamed, it's a very good afternoon to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mohamed, for your time. And of course, a very happy Eid to you and all your loved ones. Now, a very important exhibition is open in London, which is the Tutankhamun, the immersive exhibition. This is a cutting-edge, technology-driven historical experience that is available now in London from the 28th of March till the 29th of June. What can you tell us about this exhibition, sir?
The exhibition has been carried multiple times, and it has shown over the last few times how significant it is, and what is the real impact that it affects us over here.
Yes.
So it's one of the most famous exhibitions. It's a very highly demanded whenever it's being displayed. London has been always proven to be one of the top destinations for us, and the UK market in particular is one of our top 5 markets. So it was very important to show the case, especially that we have now the Grand Egyptian Museum announcement. The official date of the opening has been set, and the full exhibition will be displayed for the first time for Tutankhamun. So what we are currently doing, that we're trying to see this opportunity to highlight, focus more on the culture and heritage that Egypt got, showing it differently to the world, in order to be able as well to meet the goal of our government to achieve 30 million tourists or travelers by 2030.
Right. Mr. Mohamed, now this exhibition specifically offers visitors an extraordinary 90-minute journey throughout ancient Egyptian history, featuring innovative multimedia displays. This includes an 8-meter-high immersive video mapping room and a 360-degree virtual reality experience, and of course a world premiere hologram showcasing the mummification process of the pharaoh Tutankhamun. How do you see the merge between history and technology in order to really bring historical facts to life?
Technology nowadays is making our life easier, and it became a major part of the customer experience, or what we call customer journey.
Right.
So customer journeys are being now totally transformed based on the new technologies and the new apps and the new AI technologies as well, that's helping to improve these experiences. So integrating it with what we have to offer definitely will make the experience to our guests or to our tourists completely different. UK has always been proven to be one of the leading countries in the technology, and we are learning from them a lot. So what we are currently experiencing in London and how we are going to implement it over here is fundamental and very important for us. Secondly, as well, it is like the Generation Z now is one of the biggest parts of the international travelers, and they are very much driven as well by technology. So it's very different than back on the day. So it's very important that we cope up with the transformation of technology, and all our museums, or even from the moment that the customers arrive to the departure, everything is technology oriented, and whatever technology is available to facilitate the process definitely must be utilized.
Absolutely, sir. Now, Mr. Mohamed, this exhibition highlights several stages, and one of them includes Howard Carter's actual voice, which narrates the tomb's discovery, and even an AI photo booth where guests can transform into ancient Egyptian citizens, etc. How do you see this immersive experience as a sort of marketing strategy to what awaits potential visitors and tourists when they come to Egypt?
Nowadays, like most of the tourists, especially on the, I would say, on the upper middle class and on the luxury level, they are not looking only to have to go and just to see things, and someone to keep just explaining the history behind it. We wanted to feel the whole experience of it. So what we're currently doing with the AI technology, that you're taking this client or this guest or this tourist and transforming their whole idea, that from the seeing that they're just living this experience. So with the technology, we can take them back. They can have things that they can visualize or imaginize as well into their thoughts. So it's totally different experiences when you're capturing the technology, and it shows how unique this experiences we can offer. So what we have is not, it cannot be replicated. So, and we are unique with it. So by capturing on this technology and creating an experiences from it, we are going an extra mile, or going one step forward, that we are giving to those clients things that they cannot do anywhere else apart from either coming to our exhibition or visiting Egypt as a country.
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Mohamed, you mentioned that this is a very important exhibition in light of the GEM, or the Grand Egyptian Museum, with its inauguration just around the corner. Again, a very important event when it comes to tourism and touristic activities and the availability of different genres of tourism in Egypt. How important do you see this, Mr. Mohamed?
Tutankhamun in general is like one of the cornerstones of this museum, of the Grand Egyptian Museum.
Yes.
And showing it in London at this time, it's one of the most effective marketing strategies in order to show to the whole world what we are going to offer. So I personally believe it's one of the best steps that has ever taken. Strongly would recommend if we can take it to other countries as well, especially as well Germany, as is one of our top markets as well over here in Egypt. So mainly on the main market and on all the potential markets, especially the one focusing on or driven by culture and heritage experiences.
Right. Mr. Mohamed, another important issue is the idea, and this has happened before, of loaning, for example, several artifacts to different countries, to renowned museums, for them to be displayed for a limited period of time as a sort of marketing strategy, to attract more tourism to Egypt. How do you see this as an effective tool?
If it is done properly and with a very high quality, showing the actual beauty of Egypt, then I would definitely recommend it. So it must be done with a very strong, careful attention to detail, and showing things like in the best way that it should be, and creating an experience from it. It's a dual-edged weapon. So if you did it very nicely and properly, it will boost your tourism. If you did it wrong, it will give a very bad positioning, and then it will lower the expectations. So people might neglect the destination. So it is definitely one of the best tools for direct marketing. However, I would still recommend it must be done thoroughly, and to have an expert from the Ministry of Antiquities being present to guarantee the quality of the products that are going to be displayed.
Absolutely, Mr. Mohamed. Now, as a tourism expert, what can you tell us about your expectations in a couple of months' time when the Grand Egyptian Museum is inaugurated? This promises to be a worldwide event, of course, attracting many tourists from all around the world, lots of dignitaries and delegates and officials, even royalty, etc. How important do you see the preparations for the inauguration of the GEM?
The preparation which is currently being carried out, I do believe is going to be one of the best for openings that have ever taken place in Egypt, and it will be one of the tipping points that will be changing the whole tourism strategy for Egypt. I think now, like, the government is very much focused on tourism, foreign direct investment on the tourism industry, showing the potential that Egypt has from the tourism sector and the growth within the sector. So the museum will definitely highlight to the whole world the importance of Egypt, and it will show it to different segments within either the regular market or the market that we have not penetrated yet, the importance of Egypt. That's the first one. Secondly, as well, it is another kickoff to achieve the strategy of the government. The government wanted to reach like 30 million travelers, and hopefully, inshallah, in the next years to come or the next decade, to even double this number. So, in order to get there, with all the efforts that is conducted at the moment, to expand your efforts and infrastructure, roads, we have seen a lot of improvements into it. Destinations are being added, whether on the Mediterranean side or on the Red Sea side, or even expansion east and west Cairo. So what is taking place now, it is all I would say, the strategic steps in order to achieve this goal.
Indeed, Mr. Mohamed. And what do you think about some of the preparations that are underway? We've seen a lot of infrastructural uplifts in the Giza area and the Giza Plateau area, all in preparation for this inauguration, and a whole different infrastructure with regards to roads, accessibility, the Sphinx Airport, the shops and bazaars, etc., and the revamp that has happened to this area in general.
So, as a product, we have seen like the product itself as a museum is a state-of-the-art museum. Besides all what the government is developing in the neighborhood from an infrastructure, this is all in order to expand the infrastructure to be able to accommodate the number of tourists that we are aiming to increase. In addition as well, in a joint venture with the private sector, the government is working on creating a full experiences either at the Egyptian Museum or even continuing to the Great Pyramids of Giza and the Sphinx. So all this is being now put together with a lot of effort between the partnership between the public and the private sector, so they can create a nice experiences for the tourism, for the tourists that will be visiting Egypt in the days and months to come.
Absolutely. Mr. Mohamed, what can you tell us about some of the new, excavation projects? Till today, excavations are still unearthing and uncovering magnificent ancient Egyptian antiquities and artifacts, and further elaborating on the ancient Egyptians' lifestyle and civilization. How do you see these excavations and new discoveries as attracting tourists, specifically returning tourists, to come back and visit Egypt?
Absolutely, like just the idea behind it that you find a new exploration, it means a lot.
Yes.
And this means I'm for sure Egypt is still like a very rich country with a lot to be discovered. So either like Egypt, like the one that has been recently opened for the public, continue that require the private opening. All things that we have seen the government are working on it. We are all like big demand in the race, I would say, encouraging people who are really focused on culture and heritage to come back, especially the cultural things, or the cultural heritage is growing. And we see this level of tourism now it picks up as it used to be. So a lot of interests are not just coming and saying they wanted to live and see it, and one of the very few countries that has this magnificent things is Egypt. So I do believe it's very important for us to keep investing, research and development into this area and exploring what is the full potential behind it.
Right. Mr. Mohamed, moving to domestic tourism, of course, as Egyptians celebrate Eid al-Fitr, one of the most popular outings during this Eid is the pyramids in Giza. How do you see this as one of the top destinations that Egyptians like to visit, and what do you see with regards to domestic tourism, especially during festive holidays like this one?
So the festive holidays has proven that all the major sites in Cairo are now more or less fully booked. So you can see, alhamdulillah, the demand is growing. The people are happy, are experiencing, like as we mentioned earlier, the private partnership in most of this area has created nice experiences that's very suitable for families and as well for solo couples. So all the segments are currently enjoying it. And if you look as well on the wider range beyond the city of Cairo, you will see as well, like we have seen, the North Coast is even picking up from now, which was only driven by June, July, and August. Well, then now, like people are spending their vacation or spending their Eid vacation, and probably Easter as well will be spent on the North Coast, and we see the extension of the season over there. Besides, when you go to the Red Sea, whether in Sharm el-Sheikh or Hurghada, it's running more or less at 100% occupancy until April 5th. And when you look even to the upper of Egypt, like the towns of Luxor and Aswan, the cruises, like still as well, everything more or less now is fully booked. So I do believe that domestic or staycation is very important as well, and one of the key segments that all the hotels or the travel providers need to focus on.
Wonderful, indeed. And finally, Mr. Mohamed, how do you see the upcoming tourism season in Egypt and your expectations for the upcoming season?
So for summer, we have seen the demand is increasing. There is a raise as well on in terms of occupancy and in terms of average daily rates. The pricing of the hotels is growing. So that's a very positive indicator for the industry in general. It's still picking up. We have seen as well new number of rooms being added to the market. We see that more developers are now opening new hotels on the Mediterranean and Red Sea and of course Cairo. So all these is proving that the demand is, alhamdulillah, is stable and growing. and we feel like a shortage in supply in terms of number of rooms, and that's why the government is encouraging a lot private sector to further develop, and the Central Bank of Egypt has an incentive scheme as well in order to encourage the local investors and developers to invest in hotel development.
Right. On this positive note, we'll have to leave it at that. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Mr. Mohamed, Qawood, our tourism expert. Thank you very much, sir, for your time and your insights and for joining us on today's show. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we wrap up today's edition of Cairo Local Time. You're in the company of myself, Angie Meher. Thank you for watching.